on the victory today. Where do you start with unpacking such a impressive victory?
Well, we start complimenting the players. That's what comes first to my mind, because the effort they've put, the discipline they had, not being so dominant with the ball, but to be dominant without the ball. And I think that we have done that. Without the ball, we have been able to control the spaces, not to receive many chances, to wait for our chance. For sure, the first goal was really important, but the determination, the conviction of the players comes to my mind first. I need to say thank you to them, to push them, to help them, to keep going.
You can tell me that you're always looking from game to game, and I do believe you.
You have the answer already.
I do believe you, but what I would say is, how do you get the balance with the hype and get the enjoyment still?
When we come back, I have a team with the team, and I try to be realistic, to show them the reality that is tough. So we think that we've achieved something. We are not intelligent, and we don't want to make those mistakes. So, to be honest, we want to go very slowly, little by little, and let's see how far we can reach.
What does this loss mean for the championship?
Yeah, of course, we're 5 points behind now, but there's still a lot of games to go. So this one hurts. We wanted a different outcome, but we have to focus on first the Champions League, and then obviously the next game. There's a lot of games to be played. We have to try and make up as many points as we can, as quick as we can.
But do you see them as the favorite now for the title when you saw them performing today?
Well, that's not for us to decide, that's for everyone else to decide. For us, we have to focus on ourselves. We have to improve, we have to get better, we know that. And yeah, like I say, the games are coming thick and fast, so we have to turn it around quick.
And here's what it means for the top of the Bundesliga table. Bayer Leverkusen now with a 5-point lead over Bayern Munich, who are chasing their 12th straight German Bundesliga title. For more, let's head over to Kay Murray and Ale Moreno.
Thanks, Sebi. Leverkusen dominant in all areas on the pitch tonight. So we have to start there with them. A 3-0 win, and it wasn't even close.
No, it was not. And we've been talking about this game seemingly forever. And I mean forever. And you thought, since we've been talking about it, you would have to imagine that both Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich would be ready to play this match. Bayer Leverkusen were ready to play this match. Bayern Munich, yeah, not so much. This was a backside whooping. And I mean a whooping from Bayer Leverkusen. There was only one team on the field. This was a monologue of Bayer Leverkusen. They won it 3-0. Could have been more. Should have been more. There's only one team on the field. That's Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, just 11 guys running around without a plan, without structure, without organization. Yeah, no chance they were going to be able to pull out this match today.
So let's get to Bayern. Did the problem start before a ball had even been kicked with the lineup?
Absolutely, and we were talking about it. What's going on here? Bayern Munich, big, mighty, bad Bayern Munich, they show up at Bayer Leverkusen and they change for Bayer Leverkusen. It's a concession of Thomas Tuchel in saying, what we consider to be our best, the way that we've been playing, is not good enough against Bayer Leverkusen. So we're going to change tactically our formation. We're going to change our personnel. And in changing, you're conceding to Bayer Leverkusen, who, by the way, did not change. They didn't change. They know who they are. They know their identity as a group. They know what they believe in on the field. They believe in the execution. They believe in Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso believes in the players. He made some changes in terms of personnel because he wanted more pressure higher on the field. Those guys were able to do that. They exploited some of the frailties that Bayern Munich have in transition. It was all Bayer Leverkusen. It was all Xabi Alonso. It was nothing of Bayern Munich, and certainly nothing from Thomas Tuchel.
What does a 5-point lead on top of Bayern mean now for Bayern?
Well, for Bayer Leverkusen, I think it's just confirmation of what we already know, that this is a team that is significantly better than everybody else in Bundesliga. They have been, but we were sort of thinking, hesitant, maybe, Bayern Munich. They have a comeback, they have a reaction. Today was supposed to be that reaction. It wasn't. Nowhere near a reaction from Bayern Munich. And so what you see from Bayer Leverkusen, if you're Xabi Alonso, just continue to do the things that you're doing, because that's going to be certainly more than enough, more than plenty to win this league. As for Bayern Munich, what you're doing right now does not work. And there doesn't seem to be a plan. There doesn't seem to be structure. We don't really know what version of Bayern Munich is going to show up. And what we know for certain, based on the evidence, is that in the big games, at least, based on what we saw today. The big-name players from Bayern Munich, nowhere to be found. Harry Kane, nowhere to be found. Leroy Sané, nothing. Musiala, nothing. Kimmich on the bench. The defenders, no thanks. Across the board, an incredibly poor performance from Bayern Munich and a really dominant performance from Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, Bayern Munich have got some catching up to do. The problem for them is that Bayer Leverkusen are unbeaten all season, and they know very well that even they haven't been able to beat them. Back to you, Seb.
All right, there we have it. So it sounds like Thomas Tuchel getting a lot of the heat. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument to say they've gone backwards since they brought him in. I mean, clearly Nagelsmann wasn't the apple of everyone's eye, but he'll say, well, I wasn't given enough time. They brought Tuchel in. They fell over the line last year as Dortmund basically handed them the title right at the death, rather than Bayern actually going out and winning it. They bring in the best defender in Italy, the South Korean in Kim. They bring in one of the best strikers in world football in Harry Kane, break a club record transfer fee to do it. And yet somehow it's never felt he's happy. He's moaning, groaning. Ali mentioned Kimmich there, who has been out with a shoulder injury, but was available again. He clearly doesn't fancy him. I mean, he's a good player, really, really good player. But he's gone with Goretzka and Pavlovic. Goretzka, who he also doesn't fancy. But more importantly, he changes to a back three. And if you're... Now, I'm not a Matthias de Ligt huge fan, I have to be honest. But when Eric Dyer's coming in, right, and he is probably 5th choice centre-back at Tottenham and he's keeping you out the side, that's time to knock down the manager's door and say, you really don't fancy me. And the fact that he did change to the back three when I've not seen them do that all year made me think that he was just thinking about what Leverkusen are going to do. Oh, they're going to do it right. They play a three, they're wing backs, they're going to do, so we need to, instead of just doing his own thing, right? He didn't try to second guess himself. They were all over the place. They had one shot on target, I think, in the whole game. People were talking about Sané's attitude, which is no surprise. They've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. I don't see Thomas Tuchel managing this club next year.
I mean, Bayer Leverkusen haven't lost a game. They're going to have to lose at least 2 between now and the end of the season. Do you really think Bayern ain't going to be losing games between now and the end of the season? They absolutely are. They remind me a little bit like Chelsea. They've got names on the back of the jerseys that we all know, but they can't produce to save their life.
And by the way, Boniface, the in-form Leverkusen striker, has been out now for what? Couple of months.
No Ezequiel Palacios, World Cup winner today. So this wasn't a full-strength Leverkusen. I mean, there were some guys missing for Bayern Munich too.
No, I get it. Patrick Schick is on the bench.
But this is a football team, though. That's the difference.
This is a team that's... But you look at those names, you think, OK, you look at the Bayern names and you go...
Why down to the manager then?
Why are Leverkusen in that position? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Coaching. Now, Thomas Tuchel's gone back in with this great reputation. But actually, the football that they're playing is very much what we were witnessing for long periods at Chelsea, which is quite pedestrian and slow, and the build-up to it. And I mentioned it on Friday, or at the end of the week. One against Gladbach last week, didn't play well. One against Augsburg the week or so before, did not play well. They have not been playing well, right? They're hanging by a thread here in the Bundesliga. They're in the Champions League, but does anybody really fancy them? They're already out of the Pokal, by the way, and that was a shock to a lower league opposition. I mean, there are so many things pointing to the fact that Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and these people upstairs that our colleague Jan Agafjotov usually calls some very funny names, they're not going to be sitting going, oh, this is great. Tuchel is, if he doesn't get results and get them soon, he isn't even going to last to the end of the season. Never mind managing next season, as I said earlier.
I want to talk Champions League, but just as far as the league's concerned, I mean, we're really drawing a pretty dark picture for Bayern Munich. Is it over? You think it's Leverkusen's league now?
Oh, it's Leverkusen's to lose. Let's put it that way. It's theirs to lose. They are going to have to go away from all the things they've been doing all season, which seems unthinkable.
So basically barring total collapse.
Absolutely.
That's what
Listen,
you're saying?
the biggest game in Bayer Leverkusen's, what, for a decade?
At
maybe
least,
even more.
Yeah.
And what did
if they're going to win, it's the biggest game. Yeah.
And what did they do? They
Smashed
absolutely
them.
showed composure, quality. They got every single thing right. There was no panic. This wasn't out of the ordinary. It was just another game for them. And they played the football and they walked all over Bayern Munich. You look at Bayern Munich, how are they going to sort themselves out from here? We've no idea. Absolutely no. We don't know how they're going to play next game. Is it going to be 3 at the back again? Is it going to be 4? I mean, we have no idea what Tuchel is going to do because right now he's tried everything and nothing's worked. So 100% Bayer Leverkusen are going to have a pile of injuries or something incredible for them not to just take another step forward from now.
What I would say, it's Germany. And people have found a way to lose, basically. If Bayern are not steamrolling everybody, the others have found a way. Now, the upside is, for people that want to see something different than Bayern winning the title, it's not Dortmund. It's not Borussia Dortmund, who are the losers of the century when it comes to it. So maybe this is a different story, not having the pressure of the Borussia Dortmund, they're just going to throw it away again. That Leverkusen are on they're flying, they're playing great, they've got a young manager who everybody's talking about, who this team believe in. But I think the fact that we're at this stage of the season and they're unbeaten is something to behold. But yeah, one manager's got a lot of thinking to do, and the other manager's just thinking about keeping his players' feet on the ground and steamrolling forward.
Yeah, maybe thinking about his next job.
Well, not thinking about the Liverpool job just yet, just in case.